Welcome to Wild Card Weekend Playoff Power Rankings. Let's get started. Today, I will be ranking all 14 playoff teams in the NFL. Not any other teams besides the teams that have made the playoffs and are in the playoffs. Let's go. At number 14, I'm going to have to go with the Houston Texans. I think the Texans are probably the worst team heading into the postseason, unlike last season where they were having a magical run. They did win their division. They still are a playoff team, but I wouldn't expect them to make too much noise in the playoffs this year. And number 13, I'm going to go with the Pittsburgh Steelers. Started off 10-2 with a division lead and just collapsed. Lost the 4 or 5 of their last games. Like, they lost 4 or 5 straight in their last games. It just hasn't been a fun last part of the season for the Steelers. And then at number 12, we're going to go with Bo Nix and the Denver Broncos. The Broncos having a pretty good season, blowing out the Chiefs last week. The Chiefs backups, of course, but they still blew out the Chiefs. And I think this team could make noise in the playoffs if they can get past the Bills. Number 11 is going to have to be the LA Rams, coming off a loss to the Seahawks. The Seahawks, they did start their backups, Rams. They are the 4th seed in the NFC. Don't expect them to get past the wild card round, but I do see the Rams as a top 11 team. And then at number 10, we're going to go with the Washington Commanders. The Commanders, I could have put them at 9, but I do think that the Commanders are a great football team. Jaden Daniels is a great team, and they could make some noise, or try to, in the playoffs. And at number 9, I know this may sound biased because obviously I like the Bucs, is the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. The Buccaneers, coming off a win against the Saints, didn't look too good in the first half, came back in the second half, looked great. I do project them to at least win against the Commanders in the wild card round. And the Bucs are definitely a team that is either going to fail in the playoffs or make a lot of noise and go deep. At number 8, I'm going to have to go with the Green Bay Packers. I could have put them at 9 and put the Bucs at 8, but I think the Packers are still a good team. Lost to the Bears with their quarterback out. Sadly, it looks like Christian Watson might have tore his ACL and is out for the season. But I think the Packers, if they can get past the Eagles in the first round, could definitely make some noise in the playoffs. At number 7, you've got the LA Chargers. The LA Chargers have been beaten down on really bad teams and putting up fights against good teams. So I do think that the Chargers will be able to make some good noise in the postseason, get some stuff done, and yeah. And at number 6, you've got the Baltimore Ravens. I could have switched 6 and 5 around, just see what 5 is next. But I do think the Ravens are going to make a nice little postseason run, maybe even Super Bowl bound. And at number 5 is the Minnesota Vikings. A very disappointing showing against the Lions on Sunday Night Football in the last game of the season, 31-9. Didn't even score a touchdown. But yeah, I think they're still a great team that will make some noise in the playoffs. So yeah. Now coming into the top 4, at number 4, we're going to have to go with the Philadelphia Eagles. Top 4 are really hard to pick. The Eagles are definitely a team that's going to make a lot of noise in the playoffs. Great football team here with the Eagles, looking a lot better than they did last season going to the wild card. Yeah. Now these top 3 are very hard to pick because these teams are very good teams that some of them rested their starters this week. But I'm going to have to go with, at number 3, we're going to go with the Buffalo Bills. The Bills had a loss against the Patriots, even though they did start their backups. I could put the Bills in 2 or even 1 if I wanted to, but I do think the Bills right now are the number 3 team in the NFL. And at number 2, you've got the Kansas City Chiefs. They were number 1 in my last video, but after seeing them get blown out, which didn't really matter, because they started their backups. But I do believe that the number one team is better than this Chiefs team, and the Chiefs team are still atop of the AFC and semi atop of the NFL. And at number one, with all the injuries, despite everything, is the Detroit Lions. The Detroit Lions are having an amazing season, even with a banged up defense, a banged up even offense, you could say. It just hasn't been perfect for the Lions, but the Lions are getting things done. So at number one, your champions, your top of the power rankings this week is the Detroit Lions. Those are my playoff wild card weekend playoff team power rankings. I'll be doing this for every round with all the non-eliminated teams until the Super Bowl. So thank you guys for watching. Like if you enjoyed, subscribe if you enjoyed, and see you next time.